podcast on the ASAP Sports Network. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. It's Thursday night. We're doing our annual live show. About to talk to a big time Cowboys content creator. I can't wait. I know Jerry's ready.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about our special guest today. I do want to say, I mean, this has been our first time on the air, so I just want to say that, of course, I'm still, my heart is still heavy for what happened to Texas, and not only Texas, but all the surrounding, these tragic events that have happened. So, of course, my prayers are out there to those families that, that have lost. But let's get into it, man.
Yeah, our condolences to everyone that's been suffering here. I know we had a couple of tragic events these last couple of weeks, so our thoughts and prayers are with everyone that has been involved. But yes, our guest, Law Nation. Let's go and bring
Yeah,
him out.
yeah,
There you
man.
are, Law Nation. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm well, man, and condolences out there to the ones who lost their loved ones as well. And this is a tragic event, and we can only hope and pray that this country can look at this and just get better.
More peace and love
Hmm.
is what we need.
Most
All right.
certainly.
With that being said, let's go and get into it. Let's talk about America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Law Nation, what have you thought about their offseason so far, free agency wise and draft wise?
Oh, slow and steady. Not big splash moves at all. We had three major holes on the team. I looked at it as offense. There was a hole on the offensive front. There was a hole on the wide receiver play, and then there was a hole on the front seven as far as the defense. And the Cowboys this offseason drafted for attitude and mentality, and I believe that they got some pieces that we can look back at and say, hey, they filled the hole.
Well, I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, I like some of the moves right there. Uh, but Fidel, did you have anything else? I'm sorry. What?
yeah. So I didn't want to ask. So after the tough wild card loss to the 49ers, there was a lot of speculation that Mike McCarthy was going to be fired by Jerry Jones. There was a bunch of rumors about Sean Payton possibly
Right.
going to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, honestly, he's going to go into Fox Sports at least for 1 year. But I think one of the moves that really stuck out to me was you guys keeping Dan Quinn as your guys' DC. He was rumored to be one of the front runners for the Denver Broncos head coaching position. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Two folds to that coin, or two sides to that coin. One being that, yes, I do like the idea that other teams were looking at Dan Quinn. That means that we have something valuable. That means that we have something that someone else want. I love the idea that Dan Quinn is here for another year. The players gravitate towards him. We don't know what Michael Parsons would look like without Dan Quinn, by the way. And this team was the 30th ranked defense with the knowledge of Dan Quinn, moved all the way down to the 12th ranked defense, number one on turnovers. That's a remarkable situation. And number one on third down defense. So now that I look at the complete picture with Dan Quinn, that was the biggest move for the Cowboys this offseason, is keeping Dan Quinn in this system for another year. Hopefully that the news far as Mike McCarthy, that was just tongue in cheek. Good old Jerry Jones getting in the way once again, speaking glowingly of the Sean Payton situation. But I refuse. I absolutely refuse to give the Saints draft capital, because that's what they're going to look for. Even though Sean Payton is calling color analyst for what he's doing over there, they still hold the rights, and I don't think that they would let Sean Payton go for free. I refuse to give the Saints draft capital for him.
One of the biggest moves as far as the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys was moving Amari Cooper. He got traded to the Cleveland
Uh,
Browns,
yeah.
which now CeeDee Lamb it makes him the number one receiver.
It do automatically put the pressure on CD Lamb, and one thing that the good old Dak Prescott said before is pressure is a privilege. Hopefully, Dak Prescott, by him moving CD Lamb locker next to him, it could be a situation where he's saying, "Hey, CD, I need you to raise up to the occasion, or rise up to the occasion." CD Lamb being the number one wide receiver, I recall in 2012, the same thing happened to the other 88, Dez Bryant. He
Yeah,
was the
third
number
year.
one wide
Yep.
receiver in his third year. So that third year, you should know who you got out of your first round draft pick.
Yeah, and then also, well, speaking of Dak Prescott, he came out recently and said that this is probably the healthiest he's ever been. I mean, we did see him struggle last year. He didn't seem like he was, healthy. He was, struggling with an ankle. Well, I mean, coming off that injury, that huge injury the year before that. So I just want to get your thoughts on Dak Prescott moving forward.
I'm glad that you brought that up. Two quarterbacks that's considered elite and all pro and what have you, and the one that won the MVP last year. Oh, yes, Aaron Rodgers. I said it. Had 37 touchdowns. Guess who else had 37 touchdowns? Dak Prescott. And here's the thing. They both threw for 4,000 yards, and I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is elite, nor am I saying that Dak Prescott is like Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes. Both of those boys threw 37 touchdowns. It comes to my mind, and my notion of the game is that Dak Prescott, he didn't perform at all during the offseason because he couldn't. He was going through the recovery aspect, and he kind of overthrew the ball with his shoulder, what have you, and they said that the meat was falling from the bone. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott, he didn't have the type of offseason that he having now. So he get a chance now to throw balls to his boys as well as get to talk to them and communicate with everybody. And another thing that a lot of people fail to realize, we had HBO, Hard Knocks, everybody with cameras all in the face last year. So there was no breathable room to get anything done. This year, the Cowboys don't have none of that excuses, none of those cameras in the face. They just can only focus on football. And even if Dak Prescott have another year like he had last year, shoo. And I know it wasn't the best of the best years, but 37 touchdowns, that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
All right, and my last question for you before I let the fellas chime in. What are your expectations for the 2022 Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, my goodness.
I know it's May the 26th. I know it's May the 26th. We still got some months away.
Every year is our year.
Every year is the Super. No. My expectation is this, panel. Just get back to the playoffs and win a playoff game. I know a lot of people going to want me to say, hey, Super Bowl. No. Just get to the playoff once again. That's back-to-back playoff appearance. Win a playoff game, and then we can have another show and say, hey, Law, what's your expectations after this playoff victory? For us to win another one? And then you come back on and have another show. And Law, what's your another expectation? To get to the Super Bowl at this point. I want to move from there. Take those baby steps. I know a third of the Cowboy Nation is looking at it like Super Bowl or bust, but no, don't do that, Cowboy Nation. Let's teeter our expectations.
All right, Law, I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Law Nation, what's going on, man?
It's good, man. You got 5-time Super Bowl banner behind you.
You
I
already
see
know.
you.
We're trying to add to it.
I thought, don't you guys have sex?
Hey, don't hype them up,
Well,
man.
we got 6, but you know what happens.
But you can keep 5 up there. I know you put the 5 up there, so you won't just brag for it.
6 on that side. But yeah, other than y'all Cowboys beating us last year, I ain't got too much to say to you tonight or whatnot. But first, I want to thank you and your fans for joining us tonight. And secondly, man, I'm on this Jalen Tolbert hype. I'm on it. I'm on the hype train.
Okay.
I've heard some great stuff about him, and I've been watching some of your shows. I've seen you've been on it too. Tell me a little what you thinking about him.
I think he got explosive short area quickness. He can high point the ball. If you're looking for a mixture of Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, it's Jalen Tolbert. It's flat out Jalen Tolbert, a 4.4 guy in the 40. I would like to see what he can do against stronger competition. That's what I'm waiting for, to see what he can do against Trayvon Diggs, see what he can do against some of the other guys that's on his team. But outside of that, I really like Jalen Tolbert's releases. I like his top of the route, but I just got to see it against my stronger competition out there.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree with you no more. I've been loving what I've been hearing about. I know it's just OTAs and minicamp, but let's wait till July in the preseason. Let's see what we're going to see. We'll see what he does there. Mm-hmm. Secondly, next thing I want to ask you, the Eagles been making some moves this offseason. I know you got some angry Eagles fans in your chat. Might be some of that tonight. What you think? Are you on this hype of the Eagles, or they still got a little ways to compete with the Cowboys?
The last 3 visits the Eagles faced against the Dallas Cowboys, they were not close games at all. They were all blowouts.
Yeah.
So it's cry, Eagles, cry. Look, they already got their parade. They are putting a lot of food on their plates. And to me personally, that's cool because that lessened the blow of pressure that we have. Now, if the Eagles want to self-proclaim themselves as champs, this is all they got right now. But you know what I got in my hand? Paper. Last I checked, papers don't get turnovers, takeaways, Paper is just what it is. And if they want to feel entitled and if they want the cookie, they can have the cookie. But I come here to tell you, the last time the Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys, we had a quarterback by the name of Benjamin Dinucci, and they struggled in the first 2 quarters to beat him. So I'm not worried about the Eagles. I don't care who they went and got,
Do you fear Carson Wentz back in the division?
Well, my buddy, you said Carson Wentz.
Man, I had to unmute myself right now.
This is the thing with Carson Wentz, man. He got his number 1 wide receiver that's going to be on the opposite side of the field, and this time he's not going to be wearing 27. He's going to be wearing 7. It's my dog, Trayvon Diggs. So, yes, I love Carson Wentz. Good old Carson Wentz back in the NFC East. I can't wait to see the Washington Commanders, by the way. I can't wait.
Those games are going to be great, man. Before I let you go, the name Law Nation, where'd you get it from, man?
Well, my first name is Lawrence, and I just didn't want to just have a channel to say Lawrence, so I just shortened it Law, that's what they call me. And then Nation, I thought about network, but I wanted to have something with a different flavor, so I went with Law Nation. My first original spot over here on YouTube World was LT, and I realized, I said, man, there's already a LaDainian Thomason, and then LT is pretty much a Giants name by the way. So I said, nah. So I went with Law Nation.
Appreciate it, Law.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Law, it's my turn, man. It's finally, Cowboy on Cowboy right now. So
yeah.
Let's get right into it, man. By the way, I love your work. I try to tune into every single one and stay to the end. I saw recently you guys had a somewhat of a panel, and you guys were talking about you guys were talking about CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an interesting topic. But before we get into CD Lamb, right? Because we know that we know that, like Fidel said, Amari's gone. CD's they're calling his name. I mean, do you feel that he's going to be that is not only is he going to be paid 20+ mil? Do you think Trayvon Diggs is going to get 20+ mil?
Oh wow. Ward just got $21.5 million. That's Denzel Ward for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm just saying.
And Deebo Samuel's last year was his 3rd year. He's a year ahead of CD, and he's looking for $28 to $29 million. So, I know the Jones family. They are not looking at this situation whereas they really want to pay those boys right away. They looking at the cap. You know how it goes. My guy Big Game James call him Baby Nuts Jones, and there's also a word out there, Cap Boy Jones, and all of that. So it's going to be hard to see these boys do something remarkable, and then the Jones family open up that paycheck or that wallet. So, man, I just don't see that the Cowboys will pay those boys early. The good thing that can happen in the year 2024, that's when the new agreement opened up with Amazon. It's $111 billion. So the salary cap's supposed to blossom and balloon. So hopefully, man, these guys can just be patient for one more year. And then when the CBA, when that open up, then 28 million or 30 million for a wide receiver won't be that much of a hit. That's my only hope. But looking back at what the Jones family do, they may go the franchise route.
That sounds good, man. I think you're absolutely right? Because Trayvon is a second rounder, so he's on a 4-year deal.
Yep.
CD was out of that same draft class, but you can go ahead and give him that 5th-year option. So they
At
got
that
a little
point.
wiggle room, but that's a lot of money to spend, and they didn't want to spend that 21 mil on Amari Cooper. So, you know, it's just one of those questions that we have to get out of the way. Do you think that they're 20+ million player?
Yeah,
Now
and
Fidel,
another thing too, if not to cut you off, but
that's okay.
the 5th-year option, if a player wait until they get to the 5th-year option, then they must not have been good. A la LVE, he played on his 5th-year option. So now it's like a situation like, hey, it's a prove it deal now. So normally you want to go ahead and extend a player before their 5th-year option.
Oh
Normally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Cowboys have been doing a horrible job
Yeah.
as far as trying to stay ahead. I mean, look at the situation that we got into with DeMarcus Lawrence. We could have if Stephen Jones would have played it right, we probably would have got him at 16 mil a year, and now he's
Right.
counting like 22 against the cap. Not only him, Dak Prescott. I think Dak, we could have locked him in at 32 mil, maybe even like
Right.
we probably could have locked them in at 30 mil, and we wouldn't have this situation that we're living in today.
Yeah.
So I think Fidel asked a good question, right? Like if you like about what did you think overall of the offseason? If you could give it a title though, what would you say that the title would be? Like let's just say you're gonna write out a blog. What would be your title for the Dallas Cowboys offseason?
The no,
Because
the no
it
splash
was
boys. That's
it
what
was
it'll be. The no
oh
splash boys. We don't. We put our toe in the water and then we ease in there. So we didn't jump doing the splashes. Now you say, is it hot or is it cold? Let me just put my toe in there and let me just hot. Let me just slowly
Now
get
that's
in there.
funny. Now that's funny. We got the Splash Bros brand out playing, blowing out the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh wow, what's the score, man?
What's
What's the score?
49-67.
What?
68,
Yep.
49. Yeah.
God, dog.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. Let's get back into Cowboy talk real quick. So, Will McClay, man, overall, how do you feel about Will McClay's work since I believe he's been doing it since 2014, maybe?
I thought he was in the house since 2011. It could.
Well,
be
yeah,
since
he's been
2014.
in-house
Yeah.
2011, but
Yeah.
I think sitting at the seat, I think 2014 was his first official year. What do you think overall? I mean, he's
Unbelievable job.
Oh, wow.
My guy, Boss Cowboy, coined the phrase, without Will McClay, we are the Jets. We are the teams. Like, of course, our playoff victories are right around what the Jets did, or Jets got more than us, but we are the Jets. We are the Detroit Lions without Will McClay. I think that Will McClay assessment on gravitating and finding those players that can fit right on in, just like last year. Everybody was saying around this time, J-Ron, curse. Whoo, oh, Lord, that's another waste. Stop hyping up the Cowboys because you talking glowingly of J-Ron Curse. He wasn't a splash. Malik Hooker, we got happy about that, but people said, hey, what about the injuries? And, of course, the Monte KZ last year. Of course, now he's gone to the Steelers country. But it goes to show you that those ways of finding those players that can come right on in and fit this system like a glove is remarkable. So, hopefully, Dante Fowler could be that person for the 2022 season.
Man, I got two more for you, man.
Mhm.
So like you said, I like what he's doing, but I do want to kind of piggyback off of that real quick. My question would be, what, why why have we not invested in a safety prospect earlier? Why does he continue to go to the undrafted free agency to get these safeties? I mean, tell me if you can recall a free agent, undrafted free agent safety that has become a all-star safety, because
Man.
there's not many.
There's not many, man.
I think I was trying to do my homework. It's one, and this is like back in like the 80s. And so there's not one. So
Yeah.
tell me, what have you heard, or what is your feedback on that?
Well, people do what they want to do as far as their assessment and how they build teams. For a long time, the Cowboys been avoiding the middle of the field, and that's the most important part of the field. It's not a sexy pick. It's like defensive tackles. They just don't know what to do with that, nor do they know how to really take the risk on drafting a legitimate safety. I've read whereas we had an opportunity to get Warren Thornhill and we went with Tristan Hill. We had Tyler Rapp that was there who could make some big dynamic plays for us, but they went with other guys. That is the thing that I gotta scratch my head. But here's the thing. We may come out on top this year because the draft pool was so big, and those who were normally be drafted in the 4th round get drafted in the 6th, and those who normally get drafted in the 6th round went undrafted. So keep your eyes open for Marquise Bell to step up.
Marquise Bell.
Yeah, and Wanye Thomas, look out for him too. So I'm not trying to put lipstick on a pig. That's been avoided spot. But if I really can't put the gun. Well, I can't say that nowadays. It's too PC. Well, I'm really not going to put the pressure, because I won't say the G word to the head of Will McClay, but I'm not going to put the pressure on Will McClay because I do know that he don't have the first early options. I think the early options go to Jerry Jones, his son, and whoever else there, but I don't think that Will McClay have the first options, like first round and second round. I think that goes to the boys, those other boys.
Wow. You see, like that is something that, a hard-headed Cowboy fan like myself, I just, I wouldn't think, the Jones got the first and second round and let Will McClay play, play around in the later round. So that's good, man. You took a lot of steam off of my mind, because sometimes I'll be like, goodness, man, don't you just see him? I mean, if they did it in college, they're gonna do it in the pros. You know what I mean? If they were injured in college, they're gonna be injured in the pros. So.
But that is a saying from Jerry Jones, though, and their marketing department and their media department and their scouting department. Shout out to Chris Hall. Chris Hall is a guy that really don't get a lot of shine in the Cowboys community, but he does a lot of wiggle room and legwork out there with those boys on the scouting department. I would tell you that their saying is, if you've seen it once, you can see it again. And we got a guy named Quandre Mosley who ran a 4.3, and he's undrafted. But let's see what my guy Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr., and Al Harris going to do with him.
Well said. And I think there was a statistic that was looking back that Super Bowl teams have more undrafted players than drafted. I think that was something that I just read. I just read recently. Like, so when you look at these recent Super Bowl teams, the amount of undrafted free agents that are playing actively. Are composing more of these Super Bowl championship teams. So my last question, right now, for instance, every time me and Kendall and Fidel just kind of like we just call, we talk to each other, because that's what we do. We're partners here, right? Like, the one group I always hear Kendall talk about that it just, Kendall is just, he's bouncing his head off the table is, why don't the Patriots get a wide receiver?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So for you, what position group is that for the Dallas Cowboys? Like, what is it? Which is the position group that they always neglect? That you just like, come on, we need this to get to the Super Bowl.
Well, I look at it like size, They look at measurables, man, and they fall in love with measurables. And one position group, of course, me and Darren Woodson, we did a show a couple of years ago, and he was banging on the table, too, from the same sentiments of, hey, we need to get that safety, right? And I think your Patriots got my guy Marcus Jones, a bad boy. He don't have the size and the measurables. He's 5'7" or 5 foot nothing, right?
But yes, we did get him. Hey, Belichick's gonna put him in the best position to perform, though.
Yeah, he is a weapon. Defense, offense, special teams. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
put him on punt return.
Slot guy, he can do it all. That's a Swiss Army knife, and we've been having issues with these three things. Of course, safety, interior play as relates to DT1, not the 3 tech or what have you, but the 1 tech, and we've been having issues at what most people overlook, You know what it is? A specialist, a return specialist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many times they punt the ball to us and we get a guy that's gonna give 5 yards. Now Tony Pollard doing a wonderful job on kickoffs, but I would like for the Cowboys to use split back. The magical sweet number to me is 25 carries. Regardless of how you shake it up, it can be 10 yards to Ezekiel Elliott and 15 to Pollard, or 15 to Zeke and 10 to Pollard, or split it in half. I don't care. Get to 25. And with Dak Prescott, 22 to 24 attempts throwing the ball, and that's a recipe for a W.
Man, I love the stew, right, that you're cooking, man. I like it.
Appreciate it.
I see it, man. I see it.
That's some
I
of
think,
Mama's cooking. I'm just flinging it in there.
man, I know that if we can just get that, like you said, in order and just be patient, I know that 6 is coming our way, right? The chase for 6, so they say.
Yeah, I got to catch up with the Patriots, man.
Yeah, we got to.
Come on now.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
Law
Mo.
Nation, just want to say thank you for joining us. Where can our listeners and viewers follow you on social media?
LawNationSports.com. That's the first place. And you can find me on multiple platforms under Law Nation. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and as well as multiple channels on YouTube as under that handle, Law Nation. And also, I'm on Twitter, and we grow in the Twitter community, man. So just find me there, real raw and nothing PC about me, man. I'm just going to spit from my hip and my gut, and we just going to get things going the best way possible.
Hey, Law, look, I caught myself a couple of times. I wanted to ask you about the 76ers and what happened, because obviously you resemble a 76ers player in James Harden. So I just got to get that off my chest, man. I was going to ask you about the Sixers.
All right, man. See, what had happened was, the clone version of me. He just didn't deliver. I like so. I think that he's used to being the sixth man. Just put him on the bench somewhere. Let him come off the bench.
Hey, unlike him, you delivered on this interview. Law, thank you so much for hopping on with us for a little bit. Enjoyed it, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Anytime, man. You guys already know one way or another. DC for life. Salute.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you, everyone out there, for watching and listening. Have a great night and have a great holiday weekend.